This video is about how to edit your posts. For the most part, nothing here will have changed between any like classic theme or classic editor into this block editor. If you were using the classic editor, you'll still have like a single block called classic editor block or something, and you can convert it into individual blocks. And then otherwise, it's really going to look the same as how blocks have always looked for you. If you haven't used blocks before, you'll see this new sidebar with a lot of options and this toolbar that'll have options specific to each of the blocks. But in terms of editing your post, like you don't really need to get fancy with any of that stuff. It'll just like look the way it normally has. Now, if you want to add fancy blocks, there are a couple ways to do that. You can create your own. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but like I like it. I'm quite good at it now. So I can throw together a block pretty quickly. And what we've done is we've also created a lot. This is just a few. I need to basically double this number. So anything with the yellow background is some sort of like variation pattern type thing that was created by us that has been used throughout your theme. Used in basically more than one place or looked useful to be used in more than one place. And you can insert these in any of your posts. However, some of them are really meant to be full width. So you'll kind of want to keep an eye on that because full width looks a little weird inside of posts. And the other thing is that like some of them, like this 9x2, this is going to be, that when I fill this out, it'll look a little better, but like inside of your post content, it's going to be really small. So I would definitely stick with some of the content that's going to be bigger because this post content looks wide here, but on the front end of your site, actually, let's put this over here. Let me just save this. No, I need to actually put some text in here. 1 and then 9. Let's see if that shows on the front end. And I will load this post. I don't need that right now. And so if we look on the front end, I really would have had to add the images. So I'm not going to show you any deeper than that, but I will close this or remove that block, and we'll look at some existing stuff and we'll add in some others as well. So starting with Sprinkle of Science, I'm going to create a pattern that'll kind of give you a starting point for this, but in lieu of the pattern right now, actually, I don't know if I made it. I did not make a Sprinkle of Science one because I'm going to make a pattern. Well, we won't insert that one. Let's do the one after that. So these are like pre-styled blocks that you'll be able to insert. This is the end of that Sprinkle of Science. And then here's like Tessa's favorite tools for cookies. So I would insert my cursor wherever I want to add a new block. Let me see if I can get that plus symbol to show up. I really can't, which is so fun. So I'm just going to click enter. Now I have a plus symbol. And then this Tessa's favorite tools for cookies is not called like Tessa's favorite tools for cookies. I'm trying to remember if I've made a pattern for this one yet either, because I started with just a few pages. Well, let's just add a new one. Like let's do featured post 4 column. So I'm going to say like latest delicious cookies for even more cookie goodness. Check out these recent posts. Really, I'd recommend you do like featured posts. But this essentially is just inserting like a group of blocks. Let me show you inside of the sidebar. It's a group. It's pre-styled, so you can just fill it out and it should just work. But you can customize anything about it. So if I don't want to link to the cookie category here, then I'll just remove all these buttons. So I'll delete that. And then now I have some like SEO type text here with posts underneath. For query loops, you'll need to edit the actual query loop. You can't be on post title or like on the stack or whatever. You'll see the sidebar doesn't have a way to edit which posts show up. If you have selected the query loop and this outline is your best friend, this document overview, then you can scroll down in your options here, and I'm going to filter by taxonomy, and I'm going to pick, the cookie category. And so now it just shows the latest cookies. I could adjust this if I wanted to. the more you make adjustments, like the more you really have to understand the interface and like, I don't know, it just could be harder to manage all of these styles in the future. But anyway, I'm still going to show you. I'm going to do a light pink background. Since I have a background, I want to make sure that I have some padding so that it looks nice. And then I'll save that so we can see that underneath our favorite tools. And actually, this is a good example. You can see how small this looks here. Favorite tools, the images are pretty small. The titles are a little bigger. I don't know, but like it looks like, oh, it's not working in the back end. This will get fixed. But still, like even if the images and titles were reflecting correctly, there's just like so much more space here. And in your post, you'll see it's a little tighter. And so here we have Latest Delicious Cookies where we've made some of those adjustments. So you can see that it no longer has a button and it now has a background. For the most part, though, I really have tried to make a lot of these variations underneath blocks with these yellow backgrounds so that you don't have to make those adjustments yourself. You can insert something that will work. Right now, it's not showing like a preview image, but I am going to try and get those to work because I'm not sure why they don't since the settings are all in code. Okay, so this will be a block you can insert, this favorite tools. You saw that there is a like grid that you can insert or you can modify it if you want to. I'm going to go ahead and delete this again. And another one that's specifically for posts. I don't know why this. Let's see if we can get ingredients, handle the heat. It says it's selected. Sorry, I won't worry about this right now. But this will be a block too, where you've got the most recently updated, and I have a different style of recommended posts. You guys were using, I think, some sort of plugin where this is automatically being inserted, but now you'll be able to manually insert it wherever you would like. I did put it at the bottom of the post just to match the other one. But like this could be what is used for something like this right here, which is kind of a weird little layout. I think I did it because it was in your mocks, but I don't know. It like is really long here. And I think your mocks used like just filler text, so it wasn't representative. Okay, so that's kind of an overview of your posts. I guess as you can see, like you don't have to do anything fancy in here. Oh, specifically on your site, I do know that you guys have Tessa's recipe rundown and you have this up here. So I believe this was pulling from an excerpt and then falling back to your recipe description, if not. And then this recipe rundown is pulling from the same custom field that's always been there. So if I scroll to the bottom, you've got this recipe. I'm going to keep that. I'll delete these other things, but we will keep this recipe new main content where you have the recipe rundown. And then I don't think your excerpt is in here. I can't, let's see if this is from the recipe card. These were a huge hit. And then if I go to see recipe, it takes me to the completely wrong space. These were a huge hit. Yeah, so that's pulling from your recipe card. I don't know why it's going to the wrong space in here, but I am not super worried about it happening on your site because this is the correct ID. So I'm gonna end this video. Let me know if you guys have questions specifically about this recipe post, because I know you guys requested this video about editing recipe posts and feeling comfortable with this. But when it comes to launch, like your posts will all have this header area, the table of contents, the recipe rundown, this affiliate, and then the post content here, like automatically. The only thing that changes is that if you want to restyle, like Sprinkle of Science, which does remind me I need to add legacy styles. If you want to restyle Sprinkle of Science and these tools, and then any like posts like this, like you can add new blocks to do that. So that's the only change that is really there, and it's optional. You can do that later. The recipe card will also be updated to look like this at launch. So legacy block styles. I say block, but those are really going to be your Sprinkle of Science. Okay.